Hey guys, it's Mr. Robinson. I wanted to put together a kind of quick walkthrough on how we do some of these problems that we're seeing in class today, especially these one-step equations that we see over here. So I'm just going to walk through some of them and just really break down from like a fundamental level how we're attacking these problems as we get through them. Okay? So again, a one-step equation, all that is a variable, which in this case is the p, with only one thing being done to it. So in this case, since they're touching each other, it means it's multiplying. So it's what's happening to my p is it's being multiplied by 4. Okay? So to get p by itself, I just need to take the inverse operation of what's happening to it. So if it's multiplying by 4, which it is right here, multiplying by 4, to get p by itself, I divide by 4. These guys cancel out to 1, which means p is by itself, which is what I want. And then from here, 68 divided by 4 would be 30, no, would be, we'll just do it right here, 68 divided by 4, 1, 4, so 17. So p would be equal to 17 in this case. Okay, now, that's just the nuts and bolts of it. And by the way, I'm on page 2 of our homework here. If you were if you're following along that way, let's look at problem number 2, which says x minus 1 equals negative 9. Okay, so if I was attacking this problem just like straight up, not knowing that it's a one-step equation, the first thing I'm going to do is just identify which side has my variable, because whatever side has your variable is the side you're going to attack first. And then in this case, since it's a one-step equation, because only one thing's happening to my variable, I look at what's happening while I'm subtracting 1. So to get x by itself, I need to do the inverse of subtracting 1, which is adding 1. The inverse is the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to plus 1 here. That cancels out, and now I have x equals negative 9 plus 1, means I'm getting 1 closer to 0. So I'm at negative 8. That would be my answer for that guy. Okay? Let's take a look at number 3 here. 3 looks a little bit different because it says p over 15 equals 18. Okay? So, again, first thing I'm going to do is identify the side I need to be moving stuff from, and that's always the side with your variable. So in this case, we are messing with this p over 15 side. This line is telling me I'm dividing, so that's saying, if I said it like, read it like the equation is, it says p divided by 15 equals 18. Okay, so to get p by itself, I need to use the inverse operation. The inverse, or the opposite operation of division, is multiplication. So if I'm dividing by 15, I need to multiply both sides by 15. This goes away. Okay, and now I'm left with p by itself here, and then 18 times 15 is going to be 18 by 15 is 40, 90, 0, 8, 1, 270. Okay, so p would be equal to 270 in this case. Again, identify the side you need to be moving stuff from, identify what's happening to it, take the inverse operation to both sides, and you'll get your answer. That's how it works. Let's look at another one. Let's look at number 4, and it says negative 25 is equal to k minus 17. So if I'm attacking that, this is going to be the side that I'm moving stuff from, because that's the side of my variable. Okay, and so from here, I'm looking at what's happening to my variable. So I'm subtracting 17. So to isolate my k, I need to do the inverse, or the opposite operation of minus 17, which is add 17. And if you look, negative 17 plus 17 is 0. That's why it leaves k all alone. And then when I take negative 25 and I add 17, that means I'm moving towards 0 17 spots, which is going to leave me at negative 8. And that'd be done. Again, identify the side that has your variable, figure out what's happening to it, take its inverse operation to both sides of the equation, and you finish. Nice and neat. Okay. When we look at number 5 on that homework, it says -17 equals v over 2. Okay, so again, if I'm looking, this is the side, obviously, that I'm gonna be messing with because that's where my variable's at. Okay, in this case, it says v divided by 2, so to get rid of the 2 here, I take its inverse, so if I'm dividing, its opposite is multiply by 2. I'm just gonna multiply both sides by 2. These guys cancel, so now v is all alone. And in this case, -17 times 2 is -34. And I'd be done with my problem. V equals -34. And one more real quick. Finish with number 6, which says 20n equals 300. So again, if I'm looking at what side I'm going to attack this side because it's the side that has my variable. But then I'm going to look at what's happening to my variable. I'm taking 20 times n. Okay, so the inverse or the opposite operation of 20 times n would be 20 divided by. Okay, so divide both sides by 20, that cancels. And when all is said and done, I'm left with n is equal to 15. And that's that. I hope that was a kind of helpful walkthrough on these one-step equations specifically. Again, all we're doing is finding what side we're messing with, identifying what's happening to my variable, using its opposite operation or inverse operation to both sides, and it always spits out your answer. That's how we're doing this. I hope that helped. Thank you.